Hello! Today we will be showing you how glucose enters the cells and the biology behind diabetes. We have Dr. Claudia Phillips here today, and she is a certified diabetic educator. She will be explaining this to us. Dr. Phillips?
Hello, I'm Dr. Phillips. As Dr. Jensen said, I am a certified diabetic educator. That means that I know all about diabetes, and I am certified to educate people on that particular subject. Not everyone can become a certified diabetic educator. It is required that you accrue professional practice experience prior to applying for the diabetic educator, the CDE. And so I'm a professional and you can trust me. Now, so if you have diabetes, you should talk to someone like me, a certified diabetic educator, in order to find out what you need to know about diabetes and your health. And this is a model demonstrating how glucose enters cells and how it relates to diabetes. So this is the cell. Right here we have the glucose transporter. Now, how it works. See, when you ingest food, your body breaks it down and the glucose enters your bloodstream after being processed into glucose, and then your blood flows through your pancreas and your beta cells detect how much glucose you have and they secrete the appropriate amount of insulin. Now, insulin is very important because without it, your cells cannot take in the glucose. So why this is that these glucose, they can't enter the cell. They need help. So the insulin finds cells that need glucose and they bind to the insulin receptors on the cell. Now, when they bind to the insulin receptors, it sends a chemical signal to the glucose transporters and in a way unlocks the cell and it sends a chemical signal to the glucose transporter inside the cell. So when the glucose comes by the cell that needs glucose, the glucose transporters move to the membrane of the cell and they bring the glucose into the cell. Without this function, the glucose would not be able to enter the cell. Now, a person with type 2 diabetes, when the pancreas detects how much insulin it needs and produces the insulin that it produces is defective and it is ineffective. It cannot bind with the insulin receptors. It doesn't fit. So what happens is the glucose cannot enter the cells and you get a high level of blood glucose. So that's all I had planned to show you today. If you would like to learn more about this, you can set up an appointment with me or another certified diabetic educator that you happen to know, and you can learn more.